Uh, well, dear learners, I welcome you all in this session on hire purchase accounts. Well, friends, you might have heard about the sales of goods on installment basis and on the basis of hire purchase system. So today we will see how the hire purchase system is different from the installment payment system and what actually the hire purchase system is all about. How the goods is sold against the hire purchase system, what are the implications, and how the transactions are recorded in the books of the account, and what ledger accounts are prepared in the books of the hire purchaser and as well as in the books of hire vendor. So today we will see the implications of hire purchase system on the sales. So, well friends, you all might be well aware that when the goods are sold, the purchaser may either make the full payment at the time of buying the goods or may defer the payment. When the payment is deferred, the amount may be paid in installment, and the installments may be monthly installment, quarterly installment, half yearly installment or annual installment. The total amount paid is higher than the actual cash price of the article. The excess price is the charge for interest and the risk involved. So, well friends, you are well aware that in case the article or the goods is purchased under the hire purchase system or the installment payment system, the actual cash price of the payment is higher than the actual cash price of the article. In this system, the total payment to be made by the buyer is higher than the actual cash price of the article. This is because of the fact that this excess amount is charged by the hire vendor or by the seller on account of interest and the amount of risk involved in such a system of selling the goods by the seller. This arrangement of making the payment in installment is beneficial to both the parties, that is seller and as well as the buyer. The seller is able to make more and more sales of his products and the buyer can buy the expensive item with his limited resources, because the buyer is not supposed to make the full payment at the time of buying the goods from the seller. There are two systems of deferred payments. The first one is hire purchase system and the second one is installment payment system. So we will discuss both the system, that is hire purchase system and installment payment system, and we will see the accounting treatment under hire purchase system and installment payment system. So first, in case of hire purchase, the seller, that is the vendor, gives only the possession of the goods and retains the ownership with him. So, I would like to give the advice to my learners that they must remember that this is the main difference between hire purchase system and installment payment system, that under hire purchase system the seller or the vendor only give the physical possession of the goods and retains the ownership of the goods till the time last installment is successfully paid by the buyer. But as far as the installment payment system, under the installment payment system, the seller transfer the physical possession of the goods and as well as the ownership of the goods to the buyer even at the time of buying the goods. In other words, the hire purchaser is only the user of the goods and not the owner till the time he make the successful payment of his last installment. So, in case he fails to make the payment of the installment, the vendor will take the goods back. So, apart from that, the vendor is also not under the obligation to pay back the amount which he has already received from the buyer. Sometimes what happens that the buyer is supposed to make total 4 installment under the hire purchase system. He made the payment of some amount as down payment and the remaining amount was supposed to be paid by the buyer in 4 annual installments. So, sometimes it may happen that maybe after making the payment of first or second installment, the buyer could not make the payment of third and remaining installments. So, in such a case, the seller is not under the obligation to pay back the amount which the buyer has already paid to the seller, and the seller has the right to take back his goods from the buyer and he is not under the obligation to pay back the amount which the seller has already received in the form of first installment or second installment or in the form of down payment. Such an amount will be treated as hire charges because the seller has passed the goods in physical form to the buyer and the buyer has made the use of the product over a period of time. So, the amount which the seller is charging in excess than that of the actual cash price is called as hire charges for the goods. Therefore, till the last installment is paid, the hire purchaser has got an option whether to purchase that particular article or not. As mentioned, the payment made by the hire purchaser under this system is always more than what he pay if he decides to go for the cash price. The reason is that apart from the cash price, the hire purchase price includes the first one is the interest payment made over a period of time. Then the second one is the payment for the risk taken by the seller, because when the goods is passed from the seller to the buyer in order to use the goods over a period of time. So, here the amount of risk is involved and that amount of risk is borne by the seller. Expenditure on the registration, insurance and delivery of goods. So the seller has already made the payment on account of registration of the goods, insurance of the goods, and he might have also made the payment of expenses in order to deliver the goods to the buyer. So in order to cover all those expenses, all those charges which the seller has already taken care. So these are the three components which are included in the hire purchase price of the product. Characteristics of hire purchase agreement. So, well friends, let us see what are the main features of hire purchase agreement. The first characteristic or feature of the hire purchase agreement is it must be in writing. So, I advise my learner that they must remember that this agreement must be in writing and must be signed by all the parties. So, the agreement cannot be oral, it must be in writing and must be signed by all the parties. So, any party who has vested the interest, all the parties must sign the document. Then the third one is the agreement must state, first one is the hire purchase price of the goods. So, it must be clearly mentioned in the agreement that what will be the hire purchase price of the article to which the agreement relates. So, it must be very clearly stated that what will be the hire purchase price of the goods for which the agreement is going to take place. Then the next one is the cash price of the goods. So, the cash price of the goods must also be mentioned, because when we know the cash price of the article and the hire purchase price of the article, so the difference between these two is known as the interest part. That is to say the price at which the goods may be purchased by the hire purchaser for cash. Then the third part is the date on which the agreement shall be deemed to have been commenced. Then on that particular agreement, date must be there, that from which date that agreement will be in force. Then the next one is the number of installments by which the hire purchase price is to be paid. So, how many installments will take place in order to make the payment of the hire purchase price of the article. So, the number of installment must also be mentioned very particularly. The amount of each of those installments, so the number of installments and the amount of those installment must also be clearly stated, so that there should not be any ambiguity, there should not be any confusion regarding the number of installments, regarding the amount of the installment and the date. It means on which date the installment will be paid. So, here the mode of determining the date upon which it is payable and the person to whom and the place where it is payable. So, it must also be clearly stated that the name of the person to whom the installments will be paid, and the place must also be mentioned where the installment will be paid. Then the next one is the goods to which the agreement relates in a manner sufficient to identify them. It means the article or the product or the goods which is going to be sold by the hire vendor and which is going to buy by the hire purchaser. So, it must be clearly stated what is the article. So, the identification of the article about which this agreement is going to take place. So, this article, this product must be clearly identified that yes, this is the product for which the agreement is taking place between the hire purchaser and hire vendors. Then the next one is ascertainment of interest when rate of interest, total cash price and installments are given. So, how can we determine the amount of the interest when the following things are given? The first one is when rate of interest is given, second one is when total cash price is given, and third one is number of installments are given, amount of installments are given. So, first one is calculate the outstanding cash price at the time of first installment by subtracting down payment from the total cash price. So, here if we subtract the amount of cash down payment from the total cash price, we can easily come to know about the outstanding cash price at the time of first installment. Then calculate interest on the first installment. So, then we need to calculate the interest on the first installment. This is to be calculated on outstanding cash price at the time of first installment by applying the given rate of interest. So, here we will apply the rate of interest which is given in the questions to the outstanding cash price at the time of first installment. In this connection, the learners should keep in view the mode of installment. It means they must know whether the installment will be made monthly, quarterly, half yearly or yearly. It must be very clear to the both the parties. Then calculate the amount of cash price included in the first installment by subtracting the amount of interest as calculated in step 1. Yes, if we subtract the amount of interest from the first installment, we can easily come to know about the cash price. Then calculate the outstanding cash price at the time of second installment by subtracting the amount of cash price of the first installment from the outstanding cash price at the time of first installment, that is 1 minus 3. So, next one is calculate interest on second installment by applying the rate of interest to the outstanding cash price at the time of second installment. So, this is the procedure within which we can calculate the amount of interest and the amount of cash price, and the amount of installment is already there given in the question. So, this we can easily understand with the help of an example. This is A Limited purchased a machine on hire purchase system from Z Limited on January 1st, 2016, paying rupees 8,000 immediately. So, this is the cash down payment, and agreeing to pay 3 annual installment of rupees 8,000 each. It means the total cash price of the product is 8 multiplied by 3, 24,000 plus 8,000 cash down payment. It means 32,000. The cash price of the machine is 29,800. So, this was 32,000 was the hire purchase price and 29,800 is the cash price of the machine. So, this difference is, that is 2,200 is the interest, and the vendor charges interest at the rate of 5% per annum. Calculate the amount of interest paid by the buyer to the seller every year. So, let us see how the interest is calculated. So, here the total interest is equal to hire purchase price minus cash price. So higher purchase price, we made 8,000 as cash down payment and we made 3 installment of rupees 8,000 each. So total we paid 32,000, 8,000 cash down payment and 3 installment of rupees 8,000 each. So the total is 32,000 and the cash price is given in the question 29,800. So if we subtract the cash price from the higher purchase price, the total amount of interest is 2,200. Now we can calculate the amount of interest included in each installment. Now we can calculate the interest on each installment as follow. First one is outstanding cash price at the time of first installment. So total cash price 29,800, down payment 8,000. So total cash price outstanding at the time of first installment is 21,800. So now we can apply the rate of interest 5%. So 5% of 21,800 is 1,090. So 1,090 rupees is for interest which is included in the first installment. So first installment is of rupees 8,000. So if out of 8,000 if we subtract 1,090, we can easily come to know about the outstanding cash price. So it would be 8,000 minus 1,090. So cash price of first installment is 6,910. Now the outstanding cash price at the time of second installment. So now outstanding cash price at the time of first installment is 21,800 minus 6,910. This is the cash price of the first installment. So it is 14,890. So if we apply the rate of interest at the rate of 5%, so this is the amount of interest included in second installment. So the cash price of the second installment would be 8,000 minus 745. So this is the cash price of the second installment. Now outstanding cash price at the time of third installment. So if we go back, this is yes. Outstanding cash price at the time of last installment is 14,890. So if we subtract this cash price of second installment, this is 7,255. So it is 7,635 is the outstanding cash price at the time of last installment. So interest on last installment is very simple, 8,000 minus 7,635. So this is 365. So if we go back, we can easily come to know that the amount of interest rupees 1,090 is included in first installment. Then in the second installment 7,745 is the amount of interest which is included in the second installment. Then third one is the 365 is the amount of interest which is included in the last installment. So this is how the amount of interest is calculated. Total amount of interest we can easily calculate it. Total higher purchase price minus cash price of the product is equal to the total interest of the products. And if we have to calculate the amount of interest which is included is each installment, so this is how we can calculate the amount of interest included in each installment. So this was all about the lecture as far as the hire purchase accounts is concerned. So I am sure that this lecture might have given a very clear view about the hire purchase price, how hire purchase accounts, how the transactions are recorded in the books of the account, and how the accounting treatment is made as far as the hire purchase account system is concerned. So with this, I extend my sincere thanks for bearing with me. Thank you very much.